Hi everybody, I am Marcella Nordbeck Richardson, the artist living the artist way for 12 months. It's month 7, so we're in chapter 7, recovering a sense of connection. And in this chapter, Julia says we will practice right attitudes for creativity. And I could not need that more than I do today. I definitely need an attitude adjustment. I'm feeling very restless today. So it was good to review chapter 7 because Julia talks about 3 things that have been coming up for me lately: perfectionism, risk, and jealousy. I have a feeling this is going to be a long post because I feel like I need to address all 3 of them. So perfectionism. Recently I did Flora Bowley's online painting course, Bloom True. It's an intuitive painting class, and I loved it. And it kind of ties in with risk too, because Flora really encourages her students to take a lot of risks with their art, and that's what really called to me about the class. I was ready to start doing something other than painting spirals, which I don't always paint spirals, but it is what I'm most known for. Most of my paintings that have sold have spirals. So for me, the perfectionism lately is I've started to work on this new series that I call the Sidewalk series. They're really pure abstractions. They start with, this is an example of one of them. This is a little 8x8. Pure abstractions, a lot of neutral gray, very new for me. I start them off the same as my other paintings, where there's a lot of underlayers of color and pattern and texture, but then I start to obscure a lot of it with the gray and getting back into using a lot of the golden textures, and so they remind me of sidewalks. I was recently inspired by a walk I went on, a solo artist date, where there was a flower. I wish I would have captured it, but there's a flower growing out of a crack in a sidewalk, and it's really kind of a common thing. I believe, because I think nature is more resilient than man's desire to industrialize everything, and that gives me hope for our world. And so that's sort of the inspiration for the paintings, and also because I was bored and I wanted to do something different and new. And while I just explained sort of what the inspiration was for the painting, really each painting is just a pure abstraction. And for me, that's very fresh, and it's exciting to paint them because I don't know what they're going to look like, and there's drips like a lot of my paintings have. And so the dripping and pouring is, at that point, there's just a lot of trust. I can only control the drips and pouring so much with how I tip my canvas. So I like that there's an organic quality in my paintings. I don't know what they're going to look like throughout the creative process, or when I decide to stop painting them and I declare them finished. I can't set out to create that. So for me, it's very exciting. But when I started working on this series, my husband came home from work one day and was really just appalled. In fact, his exact words were, "Why did you paint over everything?" Which kind of blew the wind out of my sails, and it's been really hard for me to, I don't want to say motivated isn't the right word, because I've been continuing to paint. I'm actually working on 2 big spiral paintings right now, and I'm enjoying them, and I'm using circles and spirals and how they relate to each other in different ways. But the Sidewalk series, when I started it, I was really excited about it, because for me it was something really fresh and different, and another way to express layers, because I'm all about my spiritual path and metaphorically peeling back the layers and going within and having a deeper understanding of myself. And so my layers in my paintings, whether they're spirals or not, are very symbolic of that. But to have my husband have such a negative reaction to my new babies that are being birthed, it was very confusing for me, and I've allowed it to derail me a little bit. And so I'm working through that, and that's where the perfectionism in chapter 7 was was a good review for me, because I think as artists we have to know that not everyone's always going to like our work, not everyone's going to understand our work, but we still need to create it. There's still that desire to express. So that's where I'm at with perfectionism. The other topic in chapter 7 is risk. And that's kind of what I've been talking about too, is that, even if my husband doesn't like my new work, I think I still need to take the risk and get it out there, because it's all part of me evolving as an artist. I do feel like every painting I paint, I learn something in the process, whether it's how I apply the paint or just, I don't know, just every painting feels like a stepping stone in my growth and evolution as a person, as a woman, as an artist. And I don't know why I have this strong desire to paint this sidewalk series. And there's a part of me, and I can't really articulate it. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I feel like they're another stepping stone that in the process, and I'm not there yet, I'm going to grow, I'm going to discover a new way that I like to play with paint. And so I just feel like there's this series that has to be birthed, whether I ever sell one, whether anybody ever likes them or gets them, is not the point. Of course, balancing my checkbook and taking stock that I haven't sold a painting in a few months, that's where I'm come back to at the start of this post, that I'm in kind of a strange state of mind today, because on the one hand I feel like I'm really growing and stretching and expanding as an artist, but when it comes down to the bottom line, which isn't my motivation for being an artist, I'm not where I want to be today economically, which ties into the jealousy. I mentioned Flora Bowley. She's not a new artist, but she's new to me. I just discovered her late last year. I stumbled upon her book, I think it's called Brave Intuitive Painting, at Barnes & Noble, and bought it and just devoured it. And just reading that book has encouraged me to take more risks and have more fun with my art in the creative process. But I look at Flora, who is close in age to me. I'm going to be 40 this year, so I'm freaking out a little bit about my age. I feel like my ego, I keep hearing this little voice like, I should have a mortgage by now, and I should be doing this, that, and the other thing, and having had achieved something. So yeah, I don't know if jealousy is really the right word for me. I'm definitely in a place of I've been comparing a lot, and I need to stop because it doesn't serve me. I need to remember that, where I was, say, 10 or 12 years ago when I wasn't honoring my creativity, and where I'm at today is night and day. I'm in a much better place in every regard, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, even physically. I'm in the best shape I've been in years. And that is all great stuff and stuff to be appreciative for. So that's where I'm at. Oh, I want to share a quote from page 119. My favorite quote in chapter 7 is, "Expect the universe to support your dream. It will." I have been holding on to that like a life raft because of all the reasons I just shared. I'm kind of in a, I don't know, restless place. I just need to get out of my head, really. So I'm thinking about going for a walk. It's been a few weeks since I've been on a solo artist date, and I think today's the day. And then I plan on getting into my studio and working on my sidewalk series for me. So that's where I'm at. If you haven't figured out by now, I've gone down to one post a month because I am getting ready for a big event in December. I'm working on this series and some spiral work and some other mixed media pieces. I've got a lot in the works right now. But I'll be back in August with a post on chapter 8. So in the meantime, keep creating. I will if you will. Take care.